Well, it's van day, y'all. I've been waiting for this day. It's August 7th. It's Monday morning. At the current time, it is 6:32 in the morning, and the last time I filmed a video at this time of day, or anywhere around this time of day, the people of TikTok accused me of being in a manic episode because my pupils were larger. The conclusions that people draw on the internet just crack me up. But anyway, I am not in a manic episode, as you may be able to tell from my very clear and concise and controlled speech. And this is something I've been carefully planning and designing for a very long time. How am I feeling about getting my van today? I'm surprisingly well slept. I went to bed maybe around 11 last night, and I slept until a little after 5. I did wake up a couple of times, but I was able to go back to sleep, thankfully, and I avoided taking Xanax, which is something that in the past I have taken when I was too excited or nervous or anxious or whatever to sleep. It's a legal prescription. I have just had it for a long time. I haven't refilled it in over a year, but I didn't take any. And that's part of my goal. If you're interested, I have a podcast about how I healed from mental illness, multiple mental illnesses, including depression, OCD, ACD, ADHD, PTSD, all the alphabets, and of course bipolar disorder. I have had manic episodes in the past, and I'm very passionate about sharing with people the real causes and the truth about what is underneath mental illness symptoms, so they don't just simply accept a diagnosis that is a label that defines their life. I'm not into that. I'm into sharing with people the real causes and how to undo it. And as we're speaking, I have a heavy metal detox smoothie, which it looks brown, but it's actually blue. It's like bluish purple because there's a bunch of wild blueberries in it. It's very hydrating, and the ingredients are great for removing heavy metals from your brain and the rest of your body, not just your brain. So I've been drinking those a lot in the last year and a half or so, and I plan to continue in the van. I'm not really sure how that's gonna go, but I am bringing a blender, a high power blender, in the van with me. But anyway, I'm flying up to Raleigh today to meet my builders at the airport, and we're gonna go to Trader Joe's on the way there to get something to eat. And I don't know how it's gonna go. I'm camping in their driveway tonight, and I'm camping in 2 different places on the way home. One is a drive-in movie theater in South Carolina, and another is a brewery, which I'm not an alcoholic or a drinker at all. I said alcoholic, but I meant to drink. I meant to say I don't drink alcohol. Whoa, it's early, and I don't drink coffee either. But they have food there, and it looks really interesting. And it was like 100 miles from my house, and I figure, you know what? Like, let's just get to know some people. Let's camp. Let's try this out. And it'll be like van life light because I don't have the van packed with anything. So in my suitcase, I have some toilet paper, some paper towels, some plastic cups, a blanket, a pillow, a set of sheets, like very bare minimum van supplies so I can get home. But I wanted to make the most of the road on the way, and there's so much to do and see and so much to, experience that I didn't want to just drive straight home and, so to speak, waste the time. So I have decided to camp for 2 days on the way home at 2 different places. Ooh, that reminds me, I'm gonna pack my swimsuit just in case, because one of the places I'm going is close to the beach. The mood might strike, you know, who knows? Who knows? Yeah, so that's how I'm feeling the morning of, and I'll tune back in as things progress. Morning. Oh wow, I'm looking at myself. It's day 2 of my van journey. My battery is still at 65% this morning, despite being parked since I started oh, there's a bug in here. Hold please. So I spent last night at a drive-in movie theater, which was just the coolest experience ever. I'm really not good at talking and doing this at the same time. Some people are good. Alright, we moisturize with rose hip oil. The lighting is just not great, but it is what it is, man. This is what I look like in the mornings. without any makeup on. I think I'm doing pretty good for 36. I left my van builders yesterday. I was super tired because the first night of van life was in the driveway, and I was just amped, you know, so I just didn't sleep very well. Plus I had my fan on, open, I just didn't know what I didn't know yet, right? So it was all about the experience. So it was super humid in the van. I only have one pillow when I'm used to sleeping with at least 2 king-size pillows. I only have this like one pillow, just small. It's very, I think it's smaller than the standard pillow. It is a small pillow, but also very valuable experience because I will be bringing my king-size Casper pillows into my full-size bed because that's what I'm used to and I love them. It's a great opportunity to like figure out what I really want. So I'm appreciative of it. I had to get a couple other things done with the van builder yesterday. So I was there until probably about 1 o'clock and then we drove to the dealership. We went to the dealership because we wanted to show the guy who sold me the van what the van turned into. And they have a friendship with one of the sales guys there. But because I did not sleep that well on night 1, I was just itching to get moving because I had a 3.5 hour drive to get to where I was staying that night, which was where I am now, this drive-in movie theater. And let me show you what it looks like. I'm gonna take the camera outside. Automatic doors. So it's really rainy and muddy here. Like I am literally parked in a mud puddle and I'm not I'm gonna be really careful getting out, but I was able to watch a drive-in movie from my van in bed last night. It was great. And there's a couple other people. I stayed through Harvest Hosts and it looks like everybody else is gone already, so I'm still here. I'm just getting ready, and then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna close the door. Watch that door close by itself. It's so cool. Okay, back where we were. I have this makeup mirror in the van, but the way we had to install it makes it so I have to look down at it, which I don't love because when you look down, you have like a little double chin, but you know, it's all about the journey of self-love, right? So I'm gonna see myself with a double chin every day and love myself anyway. Who was it? Whitney Houston that was saying that the greatest love of all is learning to love yourself. And that's true. I think we're brainwashed by Disney movies that tell us that, or kind of brainwashed us into believing that the greatest love of all is like Prince Charming or, you know, Princess Cinderella or whatever. Princess Cinderella. Like finding somebody else to love you is the greatest love of all. But it isn't! And that is the journey I learned, or I have been on, and the lesson that I've learned, or I shouldn't say I have learned it, I am learning it, right? Because it's a journey that is never complete. And really, our consciousness is a journey that is never complete. So all I do with makeup is like, I just touch up red spots if I have any, which I usually do. I have a couple of scars from when I had OCD on my face. You don't have OCD on your face, but a symptom of OCD for a lot of people is compulsive skin picking, along with intrusive thoughts, compulsive and obsessive thoughts. It isn't always the stereotypical, I have to have everything orderly, although that is part of it. If you've got other underlying conditions that limit your energy, then you're not going to be like running around your house all day making sure it's clean or anything like that. You're not like putting things in order. You don't necessarily count things obsessively. You can, or like you don't have to turn things on 5 times, 4 times. That is a type of OCD, but just like many other disorders, right? They're just the names of them are made up and the symptoms are relative to the ever-changing and infinite kinds of symptoms that you can have, you know. I guess I could just use this, but I can't see what I'm doing. Anyway, I have this full face basics palette from Laura Geller. It's from Italy, which I like to buy makeup from Italy because they ban so many more ingredients. Europe in general, like if you get stuff from France, like you're probably better off than in the USA, and especially if it's made in China, because they ban so many more toxic ingredients. And is this the most like non-toxic thing I can get? Probably not, right? It's not made out of like 100 out of 100 score, I don't think. But I use so very little of it because it's just, like I use this highlighter as a pressed powder. And I just put it all over my face because if I'm gonna like be shiny, it might as well sparkle. And then I use the bronzer on my cheeks, who cares about makeup? Today, I'm just excited that my battery is still in the 60s despite I have the air conditioner on and it's on like low, like I have 2 bars on the little fan, but like it's blowing on me now. I can change where the direction of the vents are. So at night I have all 4 of my vents blowing towards the bed. And then this morning I changed 3 out of 4 of them to point towards the cabin. And I think while I'm driving, since I'll be in the front, I'm just gonna turn off the air conditioner because why do I need it on? Although, because I have a second alternator, and what that means, if you're new to the van world or if it's like new to you, I have constant charging. So anytime I'm driving, it is charging. And I have solar as well, but what I learned in this process is that the alternator charger charges 3 times as fast as solar. So while I'm driving, I have a regular alternator and then I have a second alternator. Like this van came with the ability to just add on a second alternator. So I'm constantly charging. I won't get to my campsite later tonight without a full battery. So this palette also has bronzer, some blush, which I put on over the bronzer just on my cheeks. And I contour like around here, my nose, and my chin. Sometimes down into my neck if I'm feeling up for it, because I got like really white skin there. But like, it's just for me, right? Like, I don't really care. And then there's 3 eyeshadows that are all neutral, and 1 matte and 2 shimmers, 1 darker, 1 lighter, and I just love the way they blend together. So I know the lighting is bad, so I'm probably not going to include a lot of this footage, but it is what it is. I'm just getting some color on the white face that I have. I've always been very fair-skinned. So I have a 3-hour, 45-minute drive today. I'm going to split it up and drive up for about 2 hours to Jekyll Island, which I think is in Georgia, and I don't know, walk on the beach a little bit. I haven't ever been there, so it's just one of those places where you've heard about it, and there's a book called The Creature from Jekyll Island that talks about how the Federal Reserve and the IRS and all that crap was formed, the groundwork of it. It was like a secret meeting. So if you're interested in learning how the United States United States of America Inc. was formed, The Creature from Jekyll Island is the book to check out. I have not read it, but I have learned a lot about, I've read other books similar to it, so it's on my list, and I'll get to it eventually. But the United States is a corporation. It is not what you think it is. The government is not the government the way it was intended to be, to protect the people. It's there to grow as a corporation. And the president is simply the president of the corporation in the same way you'd have a president of any other corporation. And you can look this up. You can go on Duns & Bradstreet, which is every business in the world, I can't say in the world, in our country for sure, it's recognized, has a Duns & Bradstreet number. Our country has a Duns & Bradstreet number, and our president, vice president, like all of those like titles are listed in the Duns & Bradstreet directory. They all have roles, and they have a Duns & Bradstreet number. They are a corporation, and so the economy is simply the state of the corporation. They don't care about us. We are what keeps them going, and not the other way around. So you can see, I use this mascara. I got it at Target. It's like $11.99. It's Liquid Lash Extensions from Milani. Highly rated is the name. And you can see the difference. I'm just gonna like get right in there. Like, obviously this eye doesn't have mascara on it, and this eye does, and it took me literally 15 seconds to put it on. So I quit eyelash extensions before, when I decided I was going to do the van, I quit eyelash extensions because I knew that they weren't doing anything good for my lashes. In fact, it took months for my eyelashes to grow, for them to be able to look this good underneath mascara. They had to grow back. I knew that I wasn't going to be keen on stopping, finding someplace new wherever I was to be able to get them filled all the time. And my guy where I live in Florida has great prices, and I still didn't like having to go there every 2 to 4 weeks, depending on how rough I treated them, right? So I was like, all right, I'm growing out my eyelashes. I'm happy with the result, you know? Certainly not as glamorous as eyelash extensions, but I think with just 1.5 coats most of the time, or even just 1 coat, they certainly perk up my look. They perk up my look quite a bit, and they look natural. A lot more natural than the extensions I used to get, right? You can tell I'm wearing mascara, but it's not clumpy, it just goes on really smooth. And the best part, it comes off really easily. So it goes on really easily and fast, and it comes off really easily, and I can just wipe the mess out of my sink. It's not clogging my tanks or anything like that, so these are the 3 items I use for my van life makeup. I have a lot more makeup. Like, I shouldn't say a lot. Like, I don't have like a train case full of makeup, but I have more, like another eyeshadow palette that I might bring along just for special occasions. But I think I'm probably gonna end up tossing most of the other stuff.
Oh, the battery died.
And in the time since my battery died, I have driven home. So you're looking at one of my garages, and the van is now in my driveway. And my assistant, Renee, who helps me with my real estate and everything else in my life. My life is literally somebody's almost full-time job. I'm very grateful to have Renee in my life. Anyway, she is in the process of cutting the drawer liners that I got from Walmart. I'll show you what they are. This stuff, it's like the marble pattern, cutting that to go into all my drawers so I can start loading stuff in. And somehow all the stuff on this table that you see here is gonna go into the van. Now, since you haven't even seen inside the van yet, I'm gonna give you like a brief tour of what it looks like right now. So yeah, you can see I've got tables out because this is like a table slash drawer. And I'm gonna do like a more official van tour, but this is the state of the van right now. It's very dirty. There's stuff everywhere because I had to take everything out of the drawers that I had because we're preparing to put liners in all the cabinets. But yeah, somehow all that stuff is gonna fit in here. Nice big fridge. It's super comfortable cockpit. I love it. And as I was driving home last night, I intended to stay at this brewery that I found on Harvest Host last night, but I ended up coming home last night anyway because the batteries are working, but there's some kind of disconnect between the batteries and the stuff that's supposed to charge them. So I'm currently hooked up to my house. That cord there, it's hooked up to the house. That's how everything's working right now because my builders are going to be down for my Van Voyage party in about 9 days, and they promised that they will get it fixed. But the first night was great. I was at the movie theater. It was at 100% when I got there, and by the time I went to bed that night, a couple hours later, the AC on the whole time, I was at 84. In the morning, it was only at 64% after running the AC all night, so I was very comfortable. But yeah, just wanted to pop in and do an update as I was cut off so rudely when my battery died. I'm looking forward to the work ahead. I never thought I'd say that, but also I'm doing it Adderall free. If you followed me on TikTok, you know a little bit about my story of recovering from ADHD, OCD, bipolar, depression, and extreme anxiety. I'm sure I'm missing one. Oh, PTSD. After my divorce, like, things really hit the fan, and I'm doing all of this work without Adderall, and I actually want to do it. So there is a way out. Recovery is possible for mental illness, but people aren't told that because it's not the popular thing. It's not the thing that makes Big Pharma the money. But I'm really proud of myself because I have a bunch of Adderall in my house from my old prescription that I never took, and I still have it. It's still good. It would still work, right? But at what cost, right? At what cost? There's no free lunch, right? It's way more satisfying to, maybe I'm doing this slower, maybe I'm a little less organized than I would be when I was on Adderall, but I feel better in the end, and I'll sleep better at night, literally. Won't need to take Xanax to fall asleep, you know? So everything is good. You want to meet Renee? Renee just popped out. Come here. I'm just doing a vlog. You're not live or anything. What do you think of the van, Renee?
It's so amazing. It's awesome. It is like a dream. It's really, she did an amazing job. Now we're gonna put some sheets in there.
Yay! Let's see how they fit.
Hopefully it will.
Well, I'm back with an update. We got everything out of the garage, so I'm gonna flip around the camera. It's about to rain, so I'm in the van now, and I set up my awning. I'm in the van, but you can see, zooming in, the table with all the stuff on it is empty, except for a couple things that may or may not have anything to do with the van. And I'm in the van, I'm plugged in, I have shore power. Man, I'm sparkly, aren't I? And this is what the van looks like. I've got everything, like countertops, just stuff that I need to organize, all my organizing containers. I got stuff in the bathroom, stuff in the front, stuff just everywhere. And it's honestly not as much as I thought. I was thinking I wasn't gonna have enough room, and I still have other stuff that is not in the van that I need to put in the van, like food. I gotta like actually stock the fridge, but I'm making progress, and it feels good to be doing this. I underestimated my own abilities to organize, and I shouldn't have because I'm awesome at it. Yeah, so that's the update.